What if I told you the thing that kept you up at night replaying every conversation, every text message, every interaction, the thing that made you question whether you were too much, too emotional, too trusting, too sensitive, was never actually about you? What if the greatest trick toxic people ever pull is convincing good-hearted people that they are the problem? Because if they can make you doubt yourself, they never have to look at themselves. They never have to look at themselves, beloved. And that's where healing begins. So, in today's video, the second to the last one of the ABCs of toxic friendships and relationships, we're on to the letter Y. And the letter Y is all about you. So grab a snack and come on back and let's get into it. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Lexi. And around here, we talk about healing and growth, reinvention, truth-telling, and the things women over 50 especially are often expected to swallow in silence. And today, we're ending this alphabet series with a powerful one. Why is for you were never the problem. You were never the problem. Whew, never. And if you've ever been blamed, gaslit, scapegoated, excluded, manipulated, bullied, or made to feel like your kindness was somehow a flaw, then this one is definitely for you. So let's talk about it. There is something incredibly painful about believing that you caused the damage. Something very painful about that, right? Believing that we caused the damage, especially when we know in our heart of hearts, we didn't cause the damage. We did not. The other person caused the damage, right? But what the other person did was change the narrative and make it look like you were the problem, right? They made it look like you were the problem, but you were definitely not, right? And not because, you actually did anything, because you didn't do anything. You didn't. But because someone carefully planted that idea in your mind, and they planted it in other people's minds as well. And if you're a caring person, you'll sit with that. You'll analyze it. You'll replay it over and over and over again. You'll ask yourself what you could have done differently. Been there, done that. You'll over-own responsibility because that's what emotionally mature people, that's what we do. But toxic people, they count on that. Let me say that again. Toxic people count on emotionally aware people questioning themselves. They do. They count on that because they know that if you're taking the blame and you're replaying it over and over and you're questioning yourself, right? Then it's off them. The spotlight is off them and the blame is off them because they've caused you to second guess yourself. accountability feels foreign to them, they're not accountable. Go back to the beginning of the series. Go back to unaccountability, the letter U. They're not accountable, beloved. They're not. And if they can hand you the emotional bill, right, for the damage that they caused, even better, right? Even better. Yeah, give it to you. Even better. They get to stay comfortable, and you carry the pain, right? You carry the pain, the animosity from other people, the hatred from other people, because they think you've done something to somebody who's so sweet and so this and so that. No, beloved, you haven't. You haven't. And I know this because I've lived it. I've lived it. Adult bullying is real, especially here on this platform and most platforms on the internet, right? That's what people do. I was watching something this morning, and with two actresses, two beautiful African-American actresses, young actresses. Well, one is an actress, one is a singer. One acts and can sing, and the other one is a singer. And they're besties. They hadn't seen each other in a long time, and they got together to have a visit. And it was tape recorded, this visit. And one of them went through a lot of online bullying. And the other one said, you handled that. And she's like, yeah, you have to, right? I'm not going to let those people break me, is what she said. Like, they don't even know me, right? What do I care about them bullying me on the internet? They know nothing about me. They just gravitated towards me and I was it, right? Same thing here. The people who do these things to us on the internet, they don't know us, beloved. They make up stories. They follow a narrative of something they have no idea about, or of people they don't even know, right? Who are spreading the stuff. They don't know those people, but they go along with it, and then they make up stories. I've heard so many stories about the things that I've done to people who, first of all, I don't even know them. They've never ever been to my channel. I would never do those things to anyone. When you come to my channel, and anybody who knows me here, first and foremost from being here for this last year and a half, you would know. My channel is all about positivity and inclusivity. I don't shame a living soul who comes to my channel. I don't care if you're white, black, pink, yellow, or green. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. I don't care if you are gay, straight, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, transsexual, and all of the other monikers. It makes no difference to me. You're a human being first. We're all human beings. No, I am a heterosexual American, African American, but I'm an American female. I'm not African. I'm a black female. That's how I coined myself. I'm not African. Yes, we all come from the motherland. I'm not African. And if I went to Africa, they wouldn't say I was African either. I'm not. My roots, my family are Afro-Latina, Afro-Latino, right? My grandfather, Pedro Morales, came from Santurce, Puerto Rico. My grandfather, on my father's side, my great-grandfather on my father's side was a white man from Atlanta, Georgia. My roots aren't distinctly, I know way back when we do our, genealogy and all that, yes, we all do. We all come from the mother country. We all do, all of us. But I don't consider myself an African American, just to make that self clear. I'm an American, because I don't know why we have to always put something in front of our names, right? Why do we always have to put something in front? So that's how I describe myself. I go by she, her pronouns. I love a man in my life, right? That's what I love. I have never, ever slurred anyone or said anything about anyone, period. And especially who's come to my channel, and the young people that come, And that's why they come. And that's why they love me. And that's why they come. But the people here who don't know that and listen to the narratives of what these negative bullies have to say, well, they're a lost cause, right? They're a lost cause. And it's all, friend betrayal. Friend betrayal is very real too here. It's very real. You think that you're friends with someone and they betray you, it's very real, very real. And I'm like, well, that couldn't happen, right? And then when it happened to me on several occasions here, of course, the other parties will say I betrayed them, because that's what they do. But no, beloved, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Manipulation at grown ages is absolutely real. It's real. And what makes it so shocking is that we think by a certain age that people should know better. We think that people should know better, right? But age does not automatically create emotional maturity. It does not. Not at all. Especially here. Absolutely not. Some people just simply get older. That's it. They don't get any maturer or anything. They act like they're 2 years old. They're just older. In an older person's body, but not with an older person's mindset. Absolutely not. And some people become experts at performance. They know how to look kind and sound kind and present themselves as warm and sweet and supportive and safe until the mask slips off. And suddenly you're standing there asking yourself, wait, what happened? Wait, what just happened? What just happened? That confusion, that emotional whiplash, because that's emotional whiplash, that's often the point. It's often the point. Because confused people are easier to control and easier to be manipulated. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I have to say yes to that one. Yes, we are. Self-doubting people are easier to manipulate. Because when we doubt ourselves and we're like, well, maybe, did I do something? No, you did not. You spoke up. Like me. Everybody here who knows me knows that I say what I mean and I mean what I say. Every single day. I've been this way for my whole life. I'm that Leo energy, that fire energy, baby. I don't blow smoke up people's ass. I never have. I don't kiss ass. I'm not a brown noser. I have a brown nose, but I'm not sticking my nose up your ass. Absolutely not. And I'm not going to blow smoke up somebody's ass to make them feel better. That's not what Lexi does. I don't do that. And anybody here should know me better than that. And if you're my friend and I consider you my friend, then I'm damn sure not going to do that. I'm going to tell you the truth every step of the way. You have people for that. You have your yes people and people for that. But a true, real friend and a real friendship doesn't do that. You don't do stuff like that, right? People who are busy defending themselves don't have the energy to examine the actual aggressor. They don't have the energy to examine that. And that's why this message matters today. On this second to the last message of our ABCs of toxic friendships and relationships, this one matters. Because maybe you've spent months or years thinking, was I too open? Too trusting? Too generous? Was I too emotional? Was I too much? No, you were none of those things. Maybe you were simply dealing with someone who needed you to shrink so they could feel bigger. That's usually what happens. It's someone who needs you to shrink so they can feel better because your light is shining too bright, baby. Your light is shining bright. I know my light shines bright. My light shines bright. Shine bright like a diamond. That's Lexi, and it always has been. That Leo energy, baby, that Leo fire, that Leo sunshine, that Leo strength, it always shines bright. And I can't help that. It shines bright. I'm very confident in myself and who I am and what I want. very confident. And a lot of people don't know how to handle that. And a lot of people aren't confident in themselves. So when they see that in you, that's that jealousy thing. They're like, well, why is she so confident and I can't do that, or I can't be that? You know, and a lot of that comes with age. I'm almost 62 years old in a couple of months. That comes with age, beloved. Everybody doesn't have that. You know, you work towards that. We talked about that in one of the other videos about the stages, right? About what happens when you're in your 20s. You're just trying to figure it out. In your 30s, you know, you're trying to build your family and balance your relationships and do all those things, right? And in your 40s and in your 50s and your 60s, things just get better and better and better and better as we get older. As we get older, as Maya Angelou said, do it if you can, baby. Do it if you can. And I want to do it. And I want to be here to do it for a very long time. Most definitely. Right? You know, the difference, like I said, is people just want you to shrink so they can feel bigger. Maybe your confidence, like I just said, triggered something in them. It triggered something in them, right? Maybe your authenticity exposed something about them. Because they're not authentic, baby. They're not. And you just didn't realize it because you were looking so forward to, wow, this new friendship, this new person in my life. I really like them. They're so sweet. They're so kind. They're so this, they're so that, until they weren't. And they never were. But we didn't see it. We refused to see it. You know, that God whisper, that intuition, that follow your first mind, you'll never go wrong, as my mother always said. That didn't click in. It clicked in, but you just refused to believe that anything was wrong. Anything was wrong with these people. You're like, no, they're so sweet. They're so nice. There's nothing wrong. How many people have told me here about certain people? Lexi, watch that person. Lexi this, Lexi that. I'm like, no, they're so sweet. No, they're so this. No. Until I found out the hard way. Because other people saw what I refused to see, but I didn't listen. I didn't listen, right? Maybe these people just wanted access to you. They just wanted access to you, right? Maybe your kindness was useful to them until the boundaries showed up. Until the boundaries showed up. And that's a hard truth. That's a hard truth, but a freeing one. It's a very freeing one. Because once you understand that not everyone who says friend means friend. Not everyone who says friend means friend. They don't. They don't. You stop personalizing behavior. You stop that, right? That was never about your worth. Never about your worth, right? And let me be clear in this. This is not saying that we can never self-reflect. We're not saying that at all. But healthy people absolutely self-reflect, right? We always self-reflect. I do. You should too. But self-reflection and self-blame, baby, they're not the same thing. They're not the same thing. I have a visitor. They're not the same thing. And that's where many beautiful souls get stuck, right? Many beautiful souls get stuck. They confuse emotional responsibility with emotional punishment. And, no. You do not have to become smaller. You don't have to become smaller, beloved, to make toxic people comfortable. You just don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Ma'am sighting. You don't have to do that at all, right? You do not have to explain. You don't have to explain. I want to get this right. You don't have to explain your goodness to people, right? Who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't. You just don't. You don't. And I know I'm the last one to say that, right? Because people push my buttons all the time. Excuse me, everybody. I'm trying to get things out of Mim's way. People come here and they push my buttons all the time. And of course I react. That's that Leo lie to me. I'm like, I react. That happens. That happens, right? That happens. Oh my goodness. But I just want you all to know that friend betrayal, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And never explaining yourself to people who misunderstand you, you just don't have to. You don't have to. And you definitely don't have to carry narratives with you, right? You don't have to carry narratives that were created to protect someone else's ego. You don't. And that's something that I'm never going to do here. You can make all the narratives you want to. You can say that I'm a liar. You can say that I bullied you. You can say my daughter did this. You can say we did this, we did that. We did nothing of the sort. We did not. But you weren't accountable for your bullshit. So now you're blaming me and blaming this one and blaming that one. And it's, those kind of people, they never change because they always have to make somebody else feel responsible for their bullshit, right? They always have to. And it's just going to keep occurring. And that's the difference between you and them. They are going to keep being them. They're going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. They're going to keep doing the same thing over again. And you don't have to worry about that because you don't have to lie about anything you do. You don't have to lie about it, right? You don't. Sorry, got to fix my nose ring. You don't have to lie about anything, like at all. At all. You don't have to audition for respect. You don't, beloved. You don't have to. And you definitely don't have to carry narratives that were created to protect someone else's ego. You don't have to do that. Some people rewrite the story because the truth makes them uncomfortable. It makes them uncomfortable because they have to look in that mirror. They have to look at themselves in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm this or I'm that, and take accountability, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that, right? That's why when you go to certain, I'm not a drinker or anything like that, right? But we see that all the time with people who go to AA. And what's the first thing you have to do? You have to stand up and say, my name is so-and-so, I'm an alcoholic, right? It's similar to that. Those people are never going to stand up and say, my name is so-and-so and I'm a liar. My name is so-and-so, I'm an alcoholic. My name is so-and-so and I changed the narrative to protect myself. These people are never going to say that. They're not. They're so proudful, right? They don't want anybody to know what's really going on with them. So they're never gonna take responsibility for themselves, never. And it's the people who believe and fall for the okie doke every time. Those people disappoint me. They really do. Those people are very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Their version is not your identity, right? Their version is not your identity. If you've been through grief, betrayal, reinvention, starting over, as most of us have here, adult bullying, friendship, heartbreak, this message matters even more. It matters even more because pain makes us vulnerable to believing lies. It does. It does. It makes us vulnerable to believing lies. Absolutely does. Sorry, everybody. Mim is so enthralled with this today. She is right here. If I could turn the camera around, I would. She's right here up on me. And it's ma'am, I'm filming. She's we got to send this next to last one out with a bang. Out with a ma'am, bang. For real. Because she's almost just knocked the whole production over. Right? Pain makes us vulnerable to believing lies. especially when those lies come wrapped in relationships that we trusted, right? But healing sounds like this. It hurts me, but it didn't define me. Definitely didn't define me. Absolutely not. Didn't define me at all, right? I was targeted, but I was not the problem. I wasn't, and being targeted, that's fine. Target me all you want to, baby, because I know the truth and I don't have to put on that Oscar-winning performance. I don't have to do that, right? I could be myself every single day. I don't have to perform. You have to perform because you have to keep up that act, and I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I trusted the wrong person, right? But that doesn't make me foolish. It doesn't. I loved sincerely, and that was not weakness. That was not weakness. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to juggle Mam here. Mam's in heat. We haven't had her fixed yet, so she's in heat. So there's a lot going on here. I loved sincerely, and that was not weakness, and I don't regret it. I never regret anything that happens to me. Everything that happens is a life lesson. Everything that happens is a life lesson. That's how I look at it. And that's also healing. It's very healing. And maybe today it's your reminder. It's your reminder that your softness was never the issue. It was never the issue at all, right? Your boundaries were. Your growth was. Your refusal to stay confused was. Your awakening was. That's what changed things. That's what changed things. Not because you became problematic. No. Not because you became harder to manipulate. Absolutely not. It's a big difference. There's a big difference there. So if nobody has told you lately, it was never you, beloved. It was never you. Then you'll own it, right? Because healed people do that. That's what we do. But if it wasn't, stop carrying what doesn't belong to you. Stop carrying what doesn't belong to you. Stop doing that. Set it down with love, and walk forward lighter. And this is for me too. I'm speaking to myself here. I'm preaching to the choir right now. I'm preaching to myself. If this message, we finally got to the message with Mam's assistance. Thank you so much. But if this message touched something in you, let me know it in the comments. Let me know it. Have you ever realized, right, later on, that it was not actually you, beloved? It was not actually you. So, if this helped you, please like, please subscribe, and share this with someone who needs the reminder, that you were never the problem, beloved. You were never the problem. And as always, what's coming next. I love you plenty. And I see you. I definitely do. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of us. We made it to the letter Y. The letter Z is next. And Z, we're going to take it out of here with a bang for the letter Z. With a bang. And we've got some new things coming up starting in June. And I'm really excited. For that. So please stick around. And just take care of your heart. Right? Take care of your heart. Keep growing and keep loving. Don't let, becoming a friend to the wrong person. I'm getting emotional because it hurts. It hurts. When you become a friend to the wrong person, it hurts. It takes a lot, right? But don't let that stop you. Don't let that harden your heart. Don't let it harden your heart, okay? Because there are true and real loving people out there that want to be friends with you, no matter what, right? That they want to be friends with you, and they will be truthful and honest and mature about it. So, on that note, deuces, and we'll see you for the letter Z, for the letter Z.